Hello. Welcome to Anything But Where Anything Goes. My name's Miguel.
I'm Brendan.
And welcome to episode 82, folks. It's Christmas time, folks. Today we have a very enticing, exciting show for you, including...
It's November.
Shut up. Invincible, episode 4, season 2. We're going to talk Lord of the Rings because it's Brendan's favorite franchise. And it's you can kind of see how that relates to like Christmas time, sort of, kind of.
It's a winter movie.
And then we're going to end things with the fact that I work in retail. We haven't been able to get to the movies. We're going to talk about The Killer.
In the mirror.
Netflix movie, Michael Fassbender. Interesting.
Yeah, we try to go see Thanksgiving, but it's hard to get.
We just haven't had time, and
it's hard to get to the movies on Thanksgiving.
There's like 6 movies that we want to go see.
I also wanted to watch Trains, Planes, and Automobiles because it's a Thanksgiving movie, but that's not new.
Spider-Man.
Yeah,
the first one.
That's what we got to do next November. Just every Thanksgiving movie we could find.
I hate the fact that that's going to become a genre. Even though Thanksgiving, the movie itself, like the new the slasher movie, it looks pretty good.
Yeah,
it looks like a lot of fun.
But we missed it. So next year,
Brendan.
Yo. So let's talk about Invincible because now, thanks to our new schedule, we watch the episode of Invincible like every couple hours right before we record.
Yeah.
So it should be the most fresh thing on our mind. What did you think?
I'm going to start off with the expectations I had for it because Robert Kirkman was just like, oh yeah, this is more graphic than anything that happened in season 1.
He's like, episode 4 and 8 are the biggest ones of the season, bigger than anything you've ever seen.
And like, to be fair, there were a couple moments.
There were moments where you and I were both like,
what the fuck? But overall, I don't think it was worse than the like finale or whatever of season 1.
No. Homie like used someone's skull to destroy and murder thousands on a train.
Yeah.
So
in this, he just popped someone's jaw off with an elbow, and then forgot to
he just did that.
Yeah, and he like
don't downplay that.
He forgot to cut his nails, and like this guy like lost his organs, and
and then after the fact, the guy like used his shirt to
hold his organs
on the outside.
And he's just like squishing this guy's head in, and I like how his son's fighting for his life, and I'm
getting so fucking tired of Invincible. His name Invincible, and every single time he gets into a fight, he's just like, Dad,
just change his name to Broken Ass Bitch. But like his dad's like stepping on his head and like squeezing the eyeball. He's like, yeah, this is fun, and his son's over there just dying in the corner.
The woman, first of all, she was like a hardcore Viltrumite, and 2, she had like a knife hair braid.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I think my favorite moment from this episode, if we're talking about how gory and whatever it is the elbow, because it came out of nowhere.
Yeah, you had
homie like
no
grabs
idea.
her, he pulls her, and I'm thinking, I told you when we watched it, he's gonna like use the knife and do some like elbow move shit and like put it through her skull.
Yeah,
that makes total sense. It's like some crazy adamantium, whatever. It can go through bones. No, homie just takes the elbow and just like
it's gone.
Pops her bottom jaw off.
I didn't even see the jaw move. It was just gone.
It just fell. It was, and then her mouth just like cut out. This is graphic.
It was very graphic.
But it's too warm for this. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's because it's November. But even with the hand thing, it just you're like, oh man, he actually is fighting a Viltrumite, like who's competent. This is the first time we're really seeing this.
The shit kicked out of
like
himself.
This is gonna be like an intense fight, and he's just like, no, I'm holding back. You're dead already. One hit, you're done. Get the fuck out of my face.
Karate.
And it was. I'm a little bit confused with the lore now. So is every single Viltrumite half Viltrumite and a spawn from another planet because that's what they do? Or is there a home planet and then some of them are like the soldiers who then have children?
Well, no, because he said it during the episode that they have to breed with like Viltrumite-esque beings.
Yeah, but does that mean they can't breed with themselves? Are they sterile? That doesn't make any sense.
That doesn't make any sense.
You know what I mean?
No, I think that definitely means they can breed with themselves, but they also have to breed if they're going to breed because it's not an obligation.
Yeah,
it has to be someone humanoid is the comparison I would make. It has to be like a Viltrumite type.
It cannot be a bug person.
It can't be a bug person.
Or else you get a purple kid.
Purple kid that's going to die. Or is dead. Probably is dead.
They didn't question, like, we didn't get any closure on the mother or the...
No, we just got Mark getting the shit kicked out of himself with an open stomach on the ground.
Again, and
a really big fucking bump above his eye again.
And Adam Eve is turning into like a militant...
Hated that. Worst part of the fucking episode.
Yeah,
it really felt weird. Like... It's one of those moments that feels entirely undeserved, where it's just like a 180 or like a complete left turn for a character that you don't expect. She's in like 2 scenes in the episode.
Yeah.
One of which is like, oh, it's Adam Eve. She's talking to people. I get it. And then one where she's like, I'm not done. You got to get up. I'm kicking the shit out of you.
Disclosure, neither me nor him has watched the Adam Eve special.
Unintentionally.
Just never got around to it. Didn't think she was like the main character in this to begin with, so I didn't really care. But if you're gonna give me a show and then just give me like a one-off, like is it even a season or is it an episode where like I gotta pay? It's kind of like the Book of Boba Fett kind of thing where it's just kind of like
but that was bad.
Well, yeah,
that was just the Mandalorian 2.
But we're getting sidetracked. We've talked about that many times. But this was pretty good. But
Yes.
it did seem a little bit disjointed because you had the story you cared about, and then they were still trying to wrap up some other stuff.
Yes.
And I really didn't care about it.
I
Like Bob or whatever his name is, just like finding out he's a robot. Bill,
Donald.
Ted, Donald. Some boring name.
That it now feels like we have these like 10 different storylines.
Yeah.
So quickly. And I'm not complaining because the way that they pace and the way they jump from things, it's not convoluted or too much yet.
No.
But I could see it getting to that point. Right
Yeah.
now, I'm very like, okay, fucking Invincible's doing this thing. The mom is dealing with depression. Donald is a robot, apparently. Cecil's a piece of shit.
I mean, we
Adam
knew
Eve
that.
has some weird character development. Now she's back home with her dad. And God knows who cares about what's going on in college? Because I just want to see Invincible fucking kick some shit.
Yeah.
The thing that bothered me about this episode was Omni-Man. I said it before. I feel like Omni-Man was this huge. I've never read the comics. Omni-Man was this huge presence in the first season, and then his turn or his snap rather in the last 2 episodes is like the heft that left me in season 1. So I was thinking when we got to season 2, it'd be like, all right, we're gonna put this off. He's gonna show up. It's gonna be a really big deal when he does.
Yeah.
I feel like the finale of episode 3, it's too quick. I feel like there was definitely needed some more build up. Like, oh, your dad's been going around the universe. He's kicking the shit out of some people because he's taking his anger out.
Yeah.
And in this, they're like, oh, he was depressed, and then he was gonna kill himself.
Like going into
and
a
then
black
he
hole,
came
which
back
is like
and fucked a bug.
it's really
The
cool
end.
though, because like as for a Viltrumite to kill themselves, unless he literally put his fist through his own face, is like
He really couldn't.
that the only
What
thing.
would happen if he went through the black hole?
That's
He'd probably come back out with like more powers or something, and
well,
just be
it
like,
depends on what you know about black holes. Like,
I
is
know
it just
nothing
one thing
about
that
black
goes in? Is he gonna die and just be into a void? Is it gonna be like a wormhole kind of thing where he comes out somewhere
Let's
else?
do another multiverse where he finds another depressed Omni-Man and they become
Yes,
friends.
and I liked him with the scraggly hair and the full beard rather than the mustache. Also, does the mustache run in the genes of Viltrumites?
I hope so.
I thought it was just because it was J. Jonah Jameson.
Well, no, there's a guy at the end that has like a robot eye and no mustache.
You mean Clancy Brown? Back again?
Nobody understands this joke. Anybody who's watched us, like, returning viewers that I have to look at on the channel, we complain about Clancy Brown quite often. Not because he's a bad guy.
Not a complaint, but
Not a complaint, but it's one of those things where he turns up every single time we're watching something and we have no idea
it's
how.
great though.
He's great. He's a phenomenal voice actor. He's a great actor. He's compelling and whatever I've never complained about a role that I've seen him in.
Yeah.
But holy shit, am I tired of us watching something and going, is that fucking Clancy Brown again?
Well, on a side note, they are redoing the Highlander movie with Henry Cavill, and Clancy
Yeah.
Brown was the original
Stop.
villain in that movie. So I
Stop.
hope he comes back in that
Stop
too.
it. Who does he play on SpongeBob?
Mr. Krabs,
That's it. I was like, he doesn't sound
SpongeBob,
like,
me boy,
I was trying to go through the roles. I was like, he doesn't sound like Plankton. He doesn't sound like Patrick.
Sandy. Can you imagine?
Clancy Brown is Sandy,
Sandy
Cheeks.
Cheeks.
Cheeks I've ever seen. So,
If you want, you can follow Miguel's fan fiction online.
Oh, that's right.
So
So,
Invincible.
I think it's very good. I'm continuing, not like I'm blown away every single time an episode
Yeah,
comes
but it's
out.
good. It's entertaining.
But it's consistently at least good, and at best, like Omni-Man's cutting someone's stomach open and holding his intestine.
yeah.
And fucking a bug
And
person.
the title card, they threw us a little bit of a curveball.
I love it. I love it.
But it's like, you Invincible.
Fucking piece of shit.
But yeah, just 'cause you just expected it to be the same pun, and it just was like a long pause, kind of like for like in How I Met Your Mother. Legend, wait for it, Derry. I think I brought that up last time we mentioned it. It's very comparable.
It's the same thing.
Yeah,
It's the pause, the title, whatever.
and I'm watching Him right now. So
Yes, him top five
Five.
sitcoms.
I mean, you got that. You got Always Sunny. You got Friends. I haven't watched Seinfeld, but I
I'm
heard
not
it's
going
top
to.
5.
I'm sure I'll give it the benefit of the doubt.
I'll do it.
What's the last one?
I watched New Girl. It was pretty good. What do you mean last one? There's an infinite number of sitcoms.
Oh no, but like the
Modern
regular ones,
Family,
no,
The
ones-
Office,
The Office, there
Parks
it is.
and
That's
Rec.
it. That's it. I'd say top 5 of The Office, not in this order. The Office, Friends, Him, Seinfeld for the benefit of the doubt, and
Parks and Rec. Pretty good.
we just mentioned one.
Couldn't be that. Could you forgot it?
I guess it's not that good. Rest in peace, Matthew Perry. Okay. You want to get? We said Friends. I don't know. It was like an obligation.
Yeah,
at this
I
point.
mean, he died a couple weeks ago at this point, but we just mentioned it now.
So
Round.
So on this podcast, we have certain things that are certain people's favorites. I'm a big fan of the MCU. Brendan's a big fan of the MCU. I'm a big fan of Star Wars. Brendan's a big fan of Star Wars. Brendan loves Lord of the Rings. I as his friend, have tried to watch it a couple times. We just finished it this time. We were going to use it for like a backup episode type of thing because it's always like in the zeitgeist.
But it took longer than expected.
Yes, it did. And even watching it this time, the extended versions that are like 13, 16 hours, not in one sitting, even this time, I don't hate it. But God, fuck, I still don't care.
Here's why.
Yes.
I tried to make him watch it all in one day as God intended the first time. And it was too much for him because
Yes.
I to get in someone to show someone all that, the amount of exposition, like they don't even leave the
Yeah.
opening area, which I'll get into in a minute, for like the first hour and a half of the first film.
Yes.
So it is a lot to take in for someone. It's not like a Marvel movie where like, here's the character, now they're in space, now the villain's there. Okay, it's been an hour and a half, we're all
That's
set.
some Phase 5 shit. That's Ant-Man being like, oh
yeah.
my God,
Yeah.
we're in the multiverse.
So there's a lot to dive into, but
Yes.
I've also I like The Hobbit. I like the lore of it. I've read the Silmarillion.
What do
for
you think of
people
the
who
new
know
Amazon
what that
show?
is. Oh, god awful. It's bad. Did you hear that they had a 70% drop off of returning viewers from the first episode to the last, and it still got renewed for seasons 2
I
and
wouldn't doubt
3?
it. It was also like a $10 million per episode. I think
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's gone down as the most expensive show that's ever been made.
Yeah, and there's a whole lot of controversy with it, but my main problem with it is just it's not canon. They tried to make it seem like it was part of the Peter Jackson universe and just changed so much that it doesn't even make sense.
Yeah.
But these are my favorite movies.
Understandably so.
I love fantasy.
Yeah, we did a whole deep dive as we were watching them about when it was filmed and how it was filmed and budgets and all these things.
We could talk about that first. Is like the
I can find
visuals
it
for it.
again.
We're so used to Marvel movies and everything.
Listen, for
looking-
something that is like 20 years old,
Yeah,
phenomenal. At the same time,
there's a couple of
us
scenes
sitting there specifically, like now the viewers that we are when it comes to any movie, deliberately looking for green screens and
Yeah.
comps. Some scenes fucking hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, there's usually like the first scene of the first movie. There's like a battle and everything. And even that one, even though I love it every time, I'm like, look at those things. But also, it came out in like 2001. They developed a bunch of technology for it, so like, it kind of makes sense, and it still holds up fairly well for something that's that old. Like other things that came out after that, like Peter Jackson came out with King Kong after these movies, and that does not hold up as well graphically.
No, not at all. I've been watching a lot about the like the new Monsters universe.
Yeah.
And every time that I watch something about it, they harken back to that King Kong movie. And it's always the same thing of them being like, look at how good this is. And then it shows King Kong and it's like, oh God.
Yeah. So, but these movies, where do you want to start? Because I have this whole bubble of knowledge because I know the whole universe's lore. You don't know that, so I kind of want you to guide me.
Brendan.
And where we're
So
going just to keep this
say,
limited.
I don't know about that. I don't fucking care about that. I'm trying to look
Exactly.
into the
So I'm trying to keep it to the movies, but
I'm trying to look at the what's the word? The gross.
they broke. Did you know that I think it has the most Oscars out of any
I wouldn't
film?
doubt it.
11.
I would not doubt it whatsoever. All of them not uniform, but a budget of around 90 million.
I mean, that's really good, but it's not the most I've seen.
No. Endgame and Infinity War were these were all filmed at the same time.
Yeah.
So you can estimate then
90 million or 900 million?
90.
Okay.
90, 270 for the three, adjusted for inflation, it's like 450, give or take.
Yeah.
That's fairly similar. I mean, Avengers, they're not going to tell you. Oh, that's before marketing.
Yeah.
Marketing, then we'll say around 800 million for 3 movies over a course of a handful of years.
Yeah.
Makes total sense. Avengers did the same thing. It was like $900 million budget after marketing, and it makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get the gross. There's no website that's giving me like a good fucking time right now trying to find everything at the same time. But the first one made about 560 on a budget of, we'll say, 180.
Okay.
W.
Well, let's
The Fellowship of the Ring.
the first one. Let's start there.
Okay.
As someone who never really pays attention to all these and everything, I don't expect you to feel the same about these, but that first hour, they don't leave the Shire, which is where the main characters, the hobbits, are from.
Yes.
How do you do you enjoy the world building?
I enjoy that
you
this is an
cared,
interview now.
I
think-
if you cared more about those characters, like if you saw that in another movie, would you enjoy it, or is it just seem too long?
I have to be super mean to you.
Okay, go for it.
I would care more about this franchise if we did not watch the 14-hour versions from the jump.
Yes.
If we just watched the regular 2.5 hour runtime, 3 hours for, I'm looking at the 2 towers now, the 2 towers, 3 hours.
Yeah. Yeah, the extended is extended, but like they didn't.
They're still long.
Yeah,
If we watch the regular ones, I think I'd care a bit more because I'd be paying attention more. Now, when I watch even the first one, it's like 4 and change out, almost 4 hours.
yeah.
I'm like, not that I'm glazed over, but I'm like, I don't know what part of this is like quote filler or deliberate lore expansion. I think the first one to me is my favorite if I had to pick.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Well, again, because I like the action
Yeah.
is really cool, but it's characters that by the time we got to the end of the third one this morning, I don't care.
Because we waited too long to watch.
Yes.
It took us like 3 weeks to watch
It
these.
did. Yes, it did. Because I'm a sleepy person, and we would go, all right, time to watch this 4-hour movie. It's 7 o'clock, and by 9:30, I was like, no, you gotta go home.
Weak bones.
That's it. No, I like the first one because I like the world building. I
Yeah.
like the start and the jump, and I feel like those are when those characters feel like not their most true selves, but feel like the most original versions of themselves
Because they're
it's,
who they are yet. They're not war
Exactly,
veterans. They're
exactly.
just people.
they're also it feels it's wizards and it's hobbits and it's small people and it's second dinner and beer.
Second
It
breakfast.
feels more grounded in
Yes.
the first one, especially in the beginning when Bilbo's like, "Oh my god, the ring! It's poisoning me." And by the time you get to the third one,
Frodo.
if you didn't watch anything in the middle, it's Frodo who's a piece of shit, Samwise who's trying to love him because they're together, and the ring turns you invisible. Like without any context, that's what it is in the beginning and the end. In the first one, it's great because it's Bilbo and he's clearly this like old disheveled dude. He's like, I've been on an adventure. I've done a thing. And Gandalf is like, I'm old as shit. Give me the ring.
Yeah. So we didn't watch The Hobbit because I figured with the 14 hours of this was way too much.
We were going
just
to.
do all. Yes, but it's
But we did not.
The Hobbit
Next
is
year.
it's a whole other battle that we'll get into that.
Yeah, the budget for The Hobbit is literally double, but it also made $1 billion.
And it's based off of a third of the content. Yeah. Okay. But for this, I just kind of want to talk about casting because we kind of do that for a lot of these.
Yes.
How'd you feel about these people?
Gandalf is the best character.
Yes.
I feel like there's nobody I would recast for any of them. There's not like a better casting I could think of or a single character that doesn't feel authentic.
Yeah.
I think the best character is clearly Samwise, without a doubt. Frodo is the worst protagonist
He's
I've ever
so
seen.
fucking
He's a
bad.
piece of shit.
He goes out of his way to fail his mission.
Yes.
Over and over again.
Over and over again. And he's so mean to Sam, who just wants to like make love to him.
I love everyone in those movies as far as casting.
Well, he didn't fucking.
No,
even
I
hear
got it, but we'll touch on it like 9 more times, so I don't need to. But Frodo, I think I actually could see be recast. I love Elijah Wood. I think he did a great
Oh.
thing in it.
Yeah.
I saw an interview recently where Jake Gyllenhaal said that he auditioned for that, went in,
weird.
didn't do an English accent or anything,
Mm.
and Peter Jackson called him the worst actor he's ever seen. But it would be a very different movie.
I like Jake Gyllenhaal a lot.
So do I. So that's why I got excited about it.
Okay.
But like Elijah Wood's got, there's no way to beat around this cum face that happens every time he gets stabbed. He's like, and it's just, and because a lot of the shots they have height differences and everything,
Yes.
they zoom in on his face so you can't see
There's
anyone
nothing
else.
else but like his hair
And
and just
it's
him going.
Yeah, and it's just so much. But I think one of the most important things in the first film is that Sean Bean dies because that makes anything great.
Yeah. It does.
Without that, who knows what would have happened with these movies? You have to have Sean Bean and you have to murder him in a great way.
Legolas.
He got paid like next to nothing for these because he was no one, and then Pirates came out and then he made bank.
Good for him. Good for him.
Um,
That's like the entire cast is great. I'm not even just talking about the hobbits and Gandalf. It's like Aragorn. Don't know the actor's
Red
name.
Skull.
Hugo Weaving.
Yeah,
Check the camera.
yeah. Viggo Mortensen. That's Aragorn.
Aragorn. I mean, I just believe. I'm just we had a camera mishap last week, so now we need to double check them
Yeah.
often again because now it's a fear that's come back. No, I don't have a problem with a single person in the cast. I think my problem is just the story takes ages to get going.
Mhm.
It's cute because like if you care about the world, there's a lot of really good of like, oh my god, there's a festival. Oh my
Yeah.
god, look, it's the fireworks. The fireworks are a dragon. The dragon was an accident. Oh, the
Cool.
hobbits are. It is cool if you really care about the universe.
Yes,
As someone who
does not. There's
from like
so
the
much
outside,
to fill.
it's filler, and it's like when the fuck do. And by the time they actually go started on the journey, you're like, oh my god, there's still a whole movie here.
Yeah.
There is still 2.5 hours
Yeah.
here.
The
It's a lot.
Fellowship shows up at 2.5 hours out of like a 4-hour movie.
Yep.
But that's the big thing for me is that it's been so long that I've been watching these extended versions because it's something that I enjoy so much. I want to get the most out of it. If there was an extended version of Endgame and stuff like that, you'd be
100%.
watching that
You give
every
me a
time.
5.5 hour cut of Endgame, I'm
Yeah.
gonna watch that shit.
So now, like, I don't show people the short ones because I don't know what's missing.
Which makes sense.
like to me, like half the story might be gone, and to you, you're like, oh, this makes sense. I'm like, where the fuck is this guy? Like,
I don't fucking
he
know.
had a half an hour of dialogue in the other one. Like Christopher Lee isn't even in the third movie in the theatrical cut at all. He actually got into a big fight with Peter Jackson
third
about
movie?
it. Yeah, not in it at all.
I don't remember him being in the third movie.
He like gets stabbed and falls from the tower.
Oh yeah, and then he almost drowns.
Yeah, in real life.
Yeah,
In
okay.
the
Now I
movie, he's
remember.
dead.
See, that's how long it was between us starting that third movie and ending it. That
Yeah.
I don't. Those feel like two different
Because
movies in my
we were
head.
trying to fit so much other stuff in there. You got the holidays and everything.
Yeah.
Like
because we were trying to like
we-
get through them, and then the week of Black Friday, I work in retail,
yeah.
and now we're post Black Friday, so now we have time.
Well, we also picked it because we thought that this was a week where there were no movies, and then after we scheduled this out, they announced like 9 things all to come out in this week, and we're like,
Trolls,
what the hell?
Thanksgiving,
Trolls Thanksgiving.
next goal wins.
Spirit Bot? No,
Wish.
that's a band.
Wish,
Firebach? I don't know. There's something.
Firebong.
No, it's with the
Dun,
Irish
dun,
dude who played the
dun,
Joker
dun.
in the new movie. It's a weird film.
Saltburn.
Yeah.
Saltburn.
Saltburn, yes.
All movies we want to see.
Yeah,
All movies we can't see.
including The Killer, which we did
We will
watch.
talk about later. We meant to see that a couple weeks ago.
But back to these movies.
Yes.
Kind of just want to touch on them as a whole real quick. Besides like the length and everything,
Yes.
as far as like, how do you feel about the like camera work and everything? Not camera work. Where the hell am I coming from? Good.
It was cold and it was sour.
The bouncing back and forth of 3 stories because
Perfectly fine.
we're kind of used to it now.
Yes,
but like
incredibly.
that was and you're
That was something
complete-
completely different back in 2001,
Yeah.
2002. But nowadays, like, we were just talking about Invincible. Invincible, there's like 5 different stories going on
Yeah.
at a 45-minute runtime.
Yeah.
3 is fine. 3, and they're cohesive.
Yeah.
There's not like, it was never like, oh, here's one story. Here's a second story. Back to the first one. But like, 40 days has passed, and all this stuff happened, and we're just going to explain it to you. I'm sure that time passage happened in a bunch of the cuts, but it was never like,
It did. Yeah.
it never felt like it.
Yeah.
It never felt incoherent.
Which to someone who knows a bit more about the lore and everything, that's actually kind of like a plot hole, I guess you could feel like, but for the average viewer, it
Oh, yeah,
just
'cause-
makes it so much better.
Yeah, because you would tell us.
Like Bilbo,
You'd be
like-
like, oh, look, and 40 days.
Yeah, like in between when the first like 5 minutes of the movie happened and the end of it, Bilbo like loses the ring, and for those of you who don't know, it extends your life.
Yeah.
But then like he loses it because he gives it to Frodo, and he ages what seems like 60 years in like 3 months,
Yeah.
but reality it's been like 20 years. So like it
It's a hell of a
doesn't
journey.
it doesn't explain that well.
Nope.
But I want to touch on one thing and then we'll rate them as a whole.
Okay.
Gollum. The technology,
The
the way
technology
he looks,
was phenomenal. He's still, I mean, right
Andy
there,
Serkis.
Andy Serkis' performance alone, perfect. There were a couple scenes or shots specifically where I could tell you, like, okay, I can tell this is CG or whatever. Especially in the first one,
Yeah.
when he shows up just a little bit, you're like, that's a cartoon, okay.
Yeah.
But by the time you get to the third one, they're fighting right above Mordor, whatever the
Doom.
fuck. What?
Mount
Doom?
Doom?
Sure,
Yeah.
if you say so. When they're fighting above there, it looks fucking great.
Yeah.
He's like attacking Frodo as he's invincible. Fucking perfect.
I think that was the first growing up. That was the first time I really saw a character that felt like a character study to me in a way. Where like we're getting a lot of movies like that now, but like this movie does such a good job of showing all these little differences between him and Gollum, Smeagol
Yes.
and Gollum, who are split personality disorder. And there's little things like his pupils being dilated for one of them and not
Yeah.
the other, and
Certain
him
mannerisms.
like and cool thing, mannerisms, cool ways of him like talking to his reflection, but the reflection is clearly the other one.
Yeah.
But it doesn't feel like a hallucination. It's just he switches that quick.
Yeah.
And there's just a lot of brilliant shit like that, and that's what really like gets these movies like for me. And also just like the fact that I'm Irish, I like to drink, I like to relax, I like to just do whatever.
have second dinner.
Have second dinner. It's breakfast. Second breakfast. 11sies, luncheon, dinner, supper. And
Second supper.
I
Beer.
don't think so. Yes, beer.
There you go.
That comes in pints. A reference that you would not get
Nope,
unless you
not at
saw
all.
the movie.
Nope.
This is my problem. I can't I've seen this so much for
Mm.
so many years. I can't review this like just something normal because like my brain's just like bing, 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 and all these connections. But I fucking love these movies and I love the Hobbits because they
Yes.
just it feels
The world.
somewhat like home, or at least what I want home to be.
I get it.
Which is why I love these movies so much.
Star Wars so much.
You want to live in space on a desert farm and drink green milk?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's. I'm not complaining, right?
No.
I think there definitely something special about it, and living in the universe for however long is great. I think next year, sure, maybe we'll try to watch them again. Only this time I'll like stay up, and next year we can watch them with The Hobbit.
You know how much you're committing to, right?
3 days straight of
3
Lord of the
days
Rings.
straight of like all day, every day.
Yeah.
If you need to take a couple breaks, because like together it's
Nap
over
breaks.
20 hours.
nap breaks.
Yeah, nap breaks. Then we're gonna do that back to back with like Star Wars and stuff. And like,
Yeah. See, I would love to just take like 2 weeks off of work and just sit there like on the couch like this.
I mean, that's the real thing. I got into these habits in high school and stuff where we had like winter break, and then
Yeah.
I'd watch this.
Oh
at
no, dude,
friends'
I got in
houses.
the habit too, but
Yeah,
I
now
can't
you
get in the habit
can't.
now.
It's just
No.
impossible.
It's been like fucking 7 or 8 years.
Unless you
since high
guys
school.
subscribe more, and then we can,
Then we
because this will be our
definitely
job.
can. Then we can quit and make money doing
and just
this.
sit
instead.
and watch movies all day and have you guys listen to us babble about them because we love doing this.
Yeah.
But
Fellowship of the Ring.
Fellowship,
Great.
give me a rating.
What kind of rating? You want like a 5-star? You want like a 1 to 10? You
I
want
mean,
like
I mean, no,
ABCD?
last time we like ranked them in what we
I like the letter grade.
the letter grade.
Is that
Okay,
what we did last time?
I don't know. So
I feel like we did.
just give me a letter grade for the first
Letter
one.
grade for the first one. Fellowship of the Ring gets like an A minus.
Okay,
I had a good time.
I would give it a B plus.
Okay.
Because I love the opening and everything, but like you said, even for someone who loves these movies,
It's a lot.
it goes
It's a
on
fucking
so
ton.
long, and then by the time you get to like the ending and everything, where there's like a climax happening, you're like, half the time I'm like zoned out and not even paying attention, not because I don't care, but just sitting down for 4 hours straight.
Oh, dude, I could not do this in a theater.
No,
I was able to go on my phone every like 20 minutes just to be like, you can press a little bit. Frodo did some dumb shit.
yeah, well, if you know you're only doing like one of them, and you're in a theater and you're excited,
It'd
you
be
got the
different.
Dolby sound, like
Yeah.
it does make it a bit better.
Yeah.
But no, even other great movies like Wolf of Wall Street, like you get through the second hour
Yeah.
and they're getting drowned with a tsunami, and you're like, it's got to be almost over. Oh, there's an hour left. Oh, that's a lot
I
of
was
movie.
like us with the Hunger Games last week.
Yeah,
I looked at my watch. I was like, damn, man, this is quick. This is already, there's still another hour.
yeah,
The Hunger Games just ended.
yeah.
The
So
Two Towers.
Two Towers. This is where it gets really hard for me
Why?
because there's so much I love in this, and then there's so much I love in the third one. But I do think that I'm going to give this one a plus because I'm not going to give it any ratings that are the same between them
Okay.
because I am kind of ranking them.
It's a B plus for me.
Okay.
It's a bit worse than the first one, but it's not a bad movie by any means. I think
Why do you think it's worse? Because you
it's
think you even
just
saw it
a
online. It's
fucking ton of
considered the best
meandering.
one.
I feel like the Two Towers are so much meandering. There's so much waiting around. It's really like things hit this awesome fever pitch when I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
they're getting this army together. Oh fuck, they're taking on the army now. I thought this was like prep for the third one. I thought we had another 6
Yeah.
hours till we took them on.
Battle of Helm's Deep.
Yes. But between there, it's a lot of meandering of like, Treebeard, are you gonna fight? We're just talking.
Yeah,
Treebeard, are you
he's-
gonna fight? No.
I love the Ents so fucking much.
Yes.
They're one of my favorite characters in that universe. But because they're so slow, even though they're majestic and incredible, it does make that draw on. And then when you add on top of the fact that you're now introducing Rohan and all of the characters within there as well,
Yes,
which you
yes,
thought
yes.
that you would exclude
What's
from
his
doing
fucking
that.
name? What's the actor's name?
From
From The Boys.
Yeah, get on it. Keith
Carl Urban.
Carl Urban.
There we go. Good
Yeah.
job.
And there's just so many great people in there. The guy who played the king was the captain in Titanic.
I feel like that's a really deep cut.
Yeah.
I don't think a single person will be like,
It's a meme online. People know.
Of course. Okay. I'm wrong. That's fine.
Come on, you're not in the fandom, man.
Listen, man, I'm wrong on this podcast quite often, as per the people.
Fucking kid Jumanji ass looking.
Don't. If you come for me, I'm going to talk about how people think you're wearing makeup every fucking time we record.
We talk about it quite often.
You don't want me to tell them how you go in the bathroom and you powder yourself up beforehand.
I don't.
You got
Fuck
some
I
lipstick,
hate
blush,
you.
and everything. You don't want to fucking hear
I
about
will
it.
kill you. I'll start putting on makeup so they can see the difference.
Is this what you wanted?
You like me now. But what was
Two
I talking-
Towers is just so much meandering for me.
There's a lot of world
There's
building.
a lot
again.
of good. They're like, again, if you're someone who loves this universe, it's perfect because you're just like, they're taking the universe that's here and they're going like this.
Yeah.
And they're building around it. But for someone like me, who was, it was like a job compliance thing.
Yeah.
Or I didn't necessarily have a choice. I had to finish whether I liked it or not. The parts that I liked were great. The
Yeah.
parts that I didn't like were just dragged down so much because it felt like meandering. We were
Yeah.
just moving around and waiting and being like, what is Frodo going to fuck up next?
I mean,
Samwise is gonna lick
big-
something, and it's not gonna be.
Beginning of the Two
Batman's bread.
Towers, when I go to it's usually when I go to the bathroom and take a break and everything because there's
Yes.
all that world building and everything.
Mm.
But like, there's things like that where you really get to know Merry and Pippin more than the other hobbits.
Yes,
They're not
and
just
that I appreciated because they
what-
just like don't show up.
you
in
start
the
to
third
see
one.
the friendship build between Legolas and Gimli, and that's when
Yes.
the Fellowship is split. So you start to really get these other stories, and because it's not a 9 group, I'm going to call it posse anymore. You really
Yeah.
get these stories and everything.
You learn about. There's a lot of character development in this meandering that I
Yeah.
keep saying because there's time to focus on everybody. It's not just a group and like the camera being like Frodo,
Yeah.
and then like everybody else falls back. You
want-
could be like Legolas braids his hair.
You want me to blow your mind?
No.
In the first film, there's easily another whole hour of content they did not put in that movie. And it's actually like interesting content, but it doesn't advance the story, so they didn't put it in. But it's like cool stuff, kind of like the bog in the second one. Kind of things like that, where it's like supernatural stuff and things like that.
Oh, okay.
And obviously,
building.
could you have guessed that Frodo almost fucking died there too?
Who would have thought? Who would have fucking thought? Frodo, the worst protagonist that has ever been put to screen.
Well, even the writer, George R. R. Tolkien,
He said
So
that
weird,
Samwise is the.
yeah, he said that Samwise is the true hero of it.
Yes.
It's very
As
weird
he is.
saying that because it's fantasy, and then you also got George R. R. Martin who did Game of Thrones.
Yes.
And they're named like the fact that there's 2 fantasy writers with
Tolkien.
RR in the middle. Oh no, that's why it's just George R. Tolkien.
Yeah.
It's all fucked up in my
Stupid
head.
ass.
And like some of it was finished by his son.
Yes. Yes.
okay,
And they keep trying to dig for it. Like every other day, I'm like Amazon. Other day, I hear Amazon goes, "Hey, we bought Lord of the Rings. Let's see what we can dig out."
Because the problem was he died, and then there was a whole bunch of other stuff that his son finished, and then
Yeah.
other things that he just kind of like threw in a book together.
Mhm.
And the big whole one, essentially the equivalent of the Bible for it, is called the Silmarillion.
Yes.
Amazon does not own the rights to that.
Oh.
But the story they're trying to tell is from within that. So now they're taking different snippets from like Lord of the
Mhm.
Rings and stuff where they mention that shit,
And
and that's why
they just, yeah,
that's why none of it's canon because they can't.
they're trying to staple it together
But I don't know why you'd pay that much money for something that's not even what you wanted to begin with.
because Jeff Bezos likes money.
I like money. So the third film.
The third film,
Return of the King.
Return of the King, Return of the Jedi,
Yeah, stop.
made $1.1 billion.
Jesus,
before
and that's
that
like
was
early
950.
2000s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, adjusted for inflation, it's
Yeah.
a lot of fucking money.
Yeah.
That's almost $3 billion just from pure
Yeah.
box office.
I'm gonna give this one an A minus, and I'm gonna put it in between the other two because it doesn't have the meandering at the beginning that the other
Yes.
one had because it just gets right into it. But then it makes up for that for having 7 fucking endings. And it's wrapping up all things that need to happen.
Yeah.
But when you sat down and watched a 14-hour movie marathon, and it's just him going, Frodo, Sam, Gandalf, and it's just like, can we just like wrap this up, guys? Like, yeah. And it's just like,
Oh my god! And that's the worst shot. This ending, one of those endings, has the worst shot in all of these like 14 hours worth of movies.
wait, I never noticed until you brought it
With
up.
the 4 hobbits composited in to Aragorn's crowning ceremony, he goes, "Guys, you made it!" And the 4 of them are just like clearly in a room by themselves, going, "Ah, ah."
Yeah.
And Frodo does his famous.
He looks dead inside.
Always.
He's just
He's
fucking
either
weird.
fucking coming or dying. No in between.
You know what's
Ah.
really funny? As much as you talk about that,
Yeah.
Ian McKellen started crying on the set of The Hobbit
Mhm.
because he was only on green screen. He's like, "This is not why I became an actor." So as much as you see them on that here, they try to do a lot of it practical.
Oh, no,
we didn't even
I
talk
believe-
about the
90% of it is practical, or like
The,
99, I believe.
I don't want to call them trick shots, but the scale shots where like all of them are in
Amazing. It's like
the
the one
same
that comes to mind is when he's talking to Bilbo in the
at
first
the,
one.
at the table and
Yeah.
everything in the
Yep.
beginning, and it looks all normal. But I've seen behind the scenes, you got 2 separate tables and everything, and it's
They're like this.
yeah. And you're like, there's a lot of things where you see things and you're like, oh man, that didn't really age as well. But there's a whole bunch of other shit like that where you don't even notice because
Entirely
it's
seamless,
flawless.
constantly.
Yeah.
But then there's moments like that where you're like, all right, I get it.
Yeah.
One of your, like, it was ending number like 4 out of 7. Okay, I get it. You didn't have to put 100% effort into it. Fine. I think
I've
this
never
one,
noticed it until you told me.
I know. This one is I will also give it a B+. I still think the first one to me is my favorite. I think the fight or like the climax is great. I think Frodo clearly turning a bit
Mhm.
and Samwise having to be like, "You fucking dipshit, what are you doing? Throw the ring in the fire." And he's like, "I want to be invisible." Cool. Very cool. The fall of the Eye of Sauron.
Sauron. Yeah.
The
Sauron.
Eye of Sauron. As it fell. Fucking cool.
Could be Sauron. He's British.
I
It's
think
fine.
These 7 endings brings it down a little bit, even though I like the fact that they wrap everything up.
Mhm.
I think there is a little bit of meandering in that first hour as it goes up to the climax, even though then it's 3 hours of climax. The lack of Sauron, like the big metal dude in the suit,
Yeah,
doesn't fucking show up.
because he can't.
I know he can't.
But they don't explain that to you. But
No,
I
they
know.
don't.
So he
Super
put
fucking cool.
all of his power into the ring, which is why when they cut it from his finger, he exploded to begin with. So he couldn't get his power back
Because he didn't
until
have the
he's
ring.
there. In The Hobbit, they kind of fixed that a bit, and in the eyeball with that black sliver
Yeah.
is no longer a sliver; it's his silhouette, which is a
Oh.
lot cooler. So it is more of his
This
embodiment.
makes me want to watch The Hobbit.
Yeah. There's
That's
a lot
pretty
of
cool.
little things like that they do fix in The Hobbit that do
Okay,
make it more
okay.
enjoyable.
This makes sense.
But yeah,
Uh,
it's more it's his embodiment rather
This
than just a
conversation
physical-
brings me upon the point that I've been thinking of the entire time, right? I understand it's fantasy. I understand that I like to watch superhero men in tights randomly jump, kick each other, and say, look, I got spider powers, thwip. I understand that I like watching people with laser swords and katanas hit each other and then just like decapitate each other. But how the fuck are you going to tell me that we're going to base 14 hours worth of movie? Actually, more like 20. You said 20-something hours even
with the Hobbit and everything. Yeah.
about this. The ring that turns someone invisible. I understand it's not just about that, right? It's more than just the power of making him invisible. It's the corruption. It's the hold it has on you. It's all these things that it actually means and represents. But how the fuck are you going to tell me, look, the ring has all this power, and he goes, whip, and he's invisible.
Yeah.
And then he takes it off, and he's not invisible.
Well, that's not all the power. They do explain that a little bit, but you weren't paying
Do they
attention.
really?
It's the quote, the like slogan of the ring: the one ring to rule them all,
Yes.
one ring to
Well,
bind
because
them.
there's a ton of rings of power.
And then he can control all those people wearing those rings. And the Nazgul got corrupted. I mean, the men got corrupted, which is why you get the Nazgul. The
Yes.
elves were wise and smart enough to realize
Yes.
that they were being controlled, so they took off the rings.
Except for the one ring, the one lady who was tempted by
No,
it.
because Sauron got his finger cut off, he couldn't no longer control them, so now they can use those rings freely because they also have power.
No, but the one was tempted by it. Then she turned into that weird CG monster.
Yeah, but she was wearing her ring still.
So the whole point of the ring then is that it can control people
Yeah, he wanted to control Middle Earth.
and turn you invisible.
I don't know if that does that to him. I don't know why it does that.
My name's Brendan. I love Lord of the Rings so much. I don't know why it does the thing it does, but it does.
Because it doesn't do it for him. It doesn't do it for him at all. He's not just like, oh, I'm a stealthy motherfucker. Now I got my ring on. You guys
I
can't see me.
can't
But
wait for the
anybody else,
commenter who's going to be below us and
Well,
give
'cause
us a 2-paragraph essay as to why it does that.
because I don't know everything, but I've watched the movies. I've read the books for Lord of the
You
Rings.
watch the YouTube videos.
I watched YouTube videos. Shout out to Nerd of the Rings. I listened to a podcast where he explains the Silmarillion and everything, but I'm also doing it while I'm at work, so sometimes I miss some things.
Okay.
So like I know a good portion of it, but you have no idea. The timeline of Lord of the Rings is this in the universe of Middle Earth.
Yeah.
And this is the movies.
Oh, I'm
like
sure.
a sliver.
Yeah.
So there's all this nonsense, and this is the movies. The ring gets created here. So like, there's a huge fucking gap where
Right.
they like try to summarize in the first 5 minutes.
Most universes are the same. Star Wars is the same. Where we go here, these are the like 12 movies that we've had. There's all this.
How long ago was that?
Probably not like centuries ago, like they talk about in Lord of the Rings. No.
Lord of the Rings is thousands of years old.
Yeah.
The sun and moon weren't even around when that fucking shit started. That's why the Undying Lands that you asked me about at the end and everything, where they're like, why is Bilbo going over there? Because it makes him feel better and stuff like that.
Yes.
Yeah, that's because it used to be these giant trees that were the light. There was two, essentially the equivalent of the moon and the sun, and they were like some of the power from the gods and everything.
Yeah.
And that light still like kind of like makes that land better and everything. And then a giant spider ate them.
As you do.
And
Okay.
then they created the sun and the moon, but before that there were two giant
Is
towers.
this what I sounded like when we were talking about the Five Nights at Freddy's lore?
Exactly. So before that there were two towers and everything, but then the devil essentially
You said 2 towers?
yeah, destroyed them as well. So there's always two things, and also stars are not stars, but just like lights in the sky. It's not a universe. Imagine Greek
Scene.
mythology, but like it is
But
literally
worse.
just like what?
Okay, so then we'll say
I can't wait for all of that to be wrong and just just get yelled at for fucking months.
so Lord of the Rings as a whole to close out. Not the episode, but to close out our topics
yeah.
on Lord of the Rings. I will say, right, it was an A-, a B+, and a B+. I'll say it's a solid A series.
Yeah.
We have to give a single letter grade. It's a solid A, it's a solid 9 out of 10, it's a solid 4 out of 5. It is not there enough for me to be intrigued enough to be like, yeah, I'll learn about it, but it's enough for me to go, fine. So it's like A New Hope, okay? And A New Hope is like the most mediocre Star Wars movie.
Yeah. Can't wait to get fought now.
All right, your final thoughts. Even though I know that you love it, you're gonna say like, "Oh my god, I would fuck Lord of the Rings." If I could.
I'm going to go to New Zealand one day. I'm going to walk the path that Frodo walked as best as I can.
Oh, I would totally do that.
Even though it's like 20
Yeah, with
miles.
beer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm going to get it in a pint.
Yes.
And so the reference that no one's going to know unless you watched it. But why are you watching this if you didn't watch those movies?
Yeah.
And
Watch this be the video that makes us take off.
I'm
That'd be
so
wild.
worried that because it's not a new thing, no one's going to watch
No,
this.
not a single. But that's okay.
But
Sometimes you have to do it for fun.
yeah, and I had a lot of fun just rewatching my favorite movies again and again, and I'm gonna watch them again next month with my other friends.
Well, to be fair, after this, we're beginning the MCU rewatch. So
Yeah, I'm probably not gonna have time to rewatch it then. But because I'm probably not gonna have time to rewatch these movies then because we also have like Christmas movies and things like that.
We have a lot to review. We have to get to the movies now more often because there's so much to see right now.
If anyone's made it this far, let us know what Christmas movies you want us to take a look at.
I don't want to do that.
Why not?
I guess you can do that.
I mean, like if they're picking an obscure one, we don't have,
we have
to watch it.
Phase
but,
4 and 5, including the shows. That alone, that's a big enough. No, actually, we're starting at Infinity War and Endgame.
You're cheating already.
That's right. Infinity War, Endgame, Far From Home, Phase 4 and 5.
Why do you want to start up here just to jump off a fucking cliff?
Because I don't want to jump off a fucking cliff. I've never done. So many people will be like, "No, Infinity War and Endgame. I treat them as one movie. I sit there and I watch them both back to back." I've never done it. I want to see what it's like.
That is a lot.
I'm sure that's like 6 hours of
It's
Marvel.
great. Get to see Loki die again.
Again and again.
But we're getting sidetracked. That ain't.
Yes,
this
we are.
week.
All right. So the last thing we'll talk about for the day is
The Killer.
John Wick, but bad.
I wouldn't even consider it the same genre. It's not the same at all. You lied to me.
I agree. Yes. No. See, we're different here because The Killer. I fucking loved it. I'm not gonna say it's like the best movie of the year. I'm not gonna say it's in my top 10 for the year. But I'm gonna say I had a good fucking time with it. It's a slow burn, and it felt like if you were watching a John Wick fight, especially in the one fight scene, it felt like that, but someone had hit mute or like 0.5 speed.
Because it felt like an actual fight rather than a John Wick fight, which is grounded but clearly just unrealistic.
Incredibly, yes.
But in this, it lost me when he's talking about all this and this mentality you got to be in. And I don't know if you noticed, he doesn't shoot that first guy until 40 minutes into the fucking movie.
Really?
He's
That's
in
40
that
minutes?
40 minutes of him talking in his mind and building a gun, taking a gun apart, doing some stretches, building the gun again. And I'm just like, what is happening?
Watching as his wife becomes a dominatrix and gets ready to do,
and then he shoots her in the fucking chest.
That's like a gigantic bullet. You know, so that wouldn't just that would, you know, in the
she
movie
moved
universe,
like that was a 50 BMG or something like that. Like her
movie
torso's
universe,
gone.
Yes, she's literally split in half, and the bullet went back and destroyed his couch, and probably
him
hit the dude.
That's why you also got to use it like an explosive round. That way, if you do miss him, you still got to
kaboom.
Our bombs sound very different.
I think Michael Fassbender shines here because he's very like, my name is the killer. I'm gonna kill a dude. This is stay calm. I don't remember what the quote he says.
Yeah,
stay
he's
calm.
like, you have to
do the thing.
You got to keep your heart rate under 60 miles an hour. So this old
60
antique
beats
glass
per minute. Oh my god!
Did I say 60 miles an hour? But then he like starts looking at the woman in lingerie, and his heart rate's at like 110. It's like, okay, take it easy, guy.
This is his inner dialogue. He's going, all right, got to keep it. Have a bone. What am I gonna do? And then I love the fact that he's sitting there, right? And he's getting ready. He loads it after sitting there for a while.
Yeah.
And then he's just.
And you just think, and he had so many opportunities to shoot that guy in the fucking head and waited till he had this much of a space and went, now. And
now's
like,
the time.
Oh, fuck. That didn't go well.
She happened to move in front when she was standing there already to begin with.
When she was teasing to give him a lap dance, she was in front of him? How could I have not foreseen this?
But then I like the way it devolves. I like the way it goes from like, instead of them going, oh, this is a universe, we're going to build this. He was like, oh, I had to kill this person. And because of it, now I'm hurt. Now I'm just going to track down every one of you fuckers. Everybody knows I'm going to kill them. And I'm going to do it slowly.
And you know what's
And I do
crazy?
it anyway.
The next time he kills someone, an hour and 20.
That's right.
40 more minutes.
That's right. That's right. But then he kills that guy and it's crazy.
It's an insane fight. And it goes on so long.
Oh, no, we're talking about two different things. You're talking about when he's fighting the big guy. There's another
Are you
kill
talking about the one in the
there.
cab?
No, there's one after that. So wait, so he kills the guy in a cab, right?
Yeah.
And this is the part where I was like, you know, if they're gonna go cliche,
Oh, the lawyer? or whatever the hell the guy was.
He's gonna turn into a good guy.
Yeah.
And he's gonna spare the dude in the cab because he gave him the info. And no, he just blows his he blows his brains out.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I'm gonna take this speaker.
No empathy.
Not at all.
Yeah.
And then he goes to
That's what he keeps saying in the movie. Like, you can't,
no empathy. You can't. I get it.
Yeah.
Even though he shows empathy later in the movie.
Yeah.
He goes to the office. He sneaks his way in, even though this is clearly like his boss kind of thing, who he's talking to on the phone.
Yeah.
He sneaks his way in, finesses, and then takes a nail gun and shoots a guy right in the sternum with a nail gun 3 times.
And watches him drown in his own blood. And
It's fucking crazy.
I also love
And then
how
he goes, "You can call
efficient he
911."
was.
Go ahead. And the guy, he can't.
Yeah.
But it's that's not even like a lack of empathy. That's just straight up torture.
Oh, he's a psychopath.
Entirely.
But
Yes.
it's like an American Psycho kind of thing, where it's like it's all mental. He feels nothing.
Yep.
It's what he's super weird about it.
The woman's so nice to him. She begs him not to kill him. You're like, oh, he's gonna show some empathy. Pushes her down some stairs.
He like
After he
snapped her neck.
Yes. Snap kick.
That actually caught me off guard. I'm like,
Yeah.
he's not really gonna let this girl live, is
Nope.
he? And I'm like, holy shit, what?
He was serious.
Like,
about
that
this,
was
no empathy thing. And then you get to, I'll say the one really good fight.
Yeah.
I liked how they tried to make it as grounded as they could, where it was still quiet. There was still a ton of planning here. There was still like he was vetting everything. First of all, if you're in like a tiny community like that, not that you're the type of person that sees the cars and like reports cars that you don't recognize, because those people are pieces of shit. But there's no way that you're driving around and you're like, all right, I know these people, whatever. And then you see this car with a guy parked in it, sleeping in his car randomly, like 2 days in a row, and you don't go, thumbs up. And instead he goes, I'm going to put NyQuil and ZQuil in this piece of beef and feed it to a dog.
Yeah.
And
Which
I'm gonna
didn't
go
really
inside.
do much.
No, not really. It knocked the dog out for a little bit. I'm glad that he didn't kill the dog, because I feel like that's...
I mean, he did blow up that fucking house. That dog ain't got nowhere to go.
I love the fact he got in there. The two of them fought. He didn't kick the shit out of him, but he won the fight.
Yeah.
And then he pulls out a Molotov, which felt like the most, understandably, right? Because that's something you could build. But it felt like the most out-of-pocket random thing. I thought he would have been like, I killed him, I'm just going to leave. And the dog's going to like eat the body or something because he's hungry. I don't know.
Yeah.
But instead he goes, oh, all right, I've left the fence and you're like, instantly, you're like, oh, the whole house is burning down.
Yeah.
And he's not running. He's not trying to not get seen. He's just like...
And then the surprise cameo, not cameo, but character that I didn't know was in this movie.
The blonde woman?
Yeah. From Doctor Strange.
Yes,
Tilda
whose name I
Swinton?
can't remember. Yes, Tilda Swinton. I think.
Good at that.
Are you?
I don't
Is
know.
that Tilda Swinton? It is Tilda Swinton. Good job. Who has done many other things, and we only recognize her from Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange, Snowpiercer.
Good movie.
I'm out.
Asteroid City, Pinocchio, but the Guillermo del Toro one, French Dispatch, Uncut Gems.
She was in Uncut Gems?
She was in Endgame. Uncut Gems is a mediocre movie.
Fuck you.
Hail Caesar.
It was really good.
No,
it
it
was
wasn't.
just so stressful. I didn't enjoy it.
Trainwreck. Chronicles of Narnia, the last one.
Oh, yeah, she's the witch.
The Burn After Reading. The
Yes.
Curious Case of Benjamin Button.
Okay, let's move on.
So you get to the ending, and he kills Tilda Swinton, which I think was a great scene.
Yeah.
This is the scene that showcases the slow burn the best, because she goes, let me get a sampler. And you sit there and you're like, all right, she got a sampler and a bottle. So I'm trying to like pay attention to the scene, but I also know there's no way she's going to talk and like lecture. Shot. Lecture. There's no way she's going to do it 5 times. And then she fucking does. And you're sitting there like, okay, look, world building. I get it. But this is like 25 minute
she knew
ordeal.
she was going to die.
Oh, of course. I'm just talking from like a storytelling point of view.
Oh, yeah.
We're really going to sit here and go through this entire thing. I get it. It's a slow burn. That's the point of the movie. Somehow this is under a 2-hour runtime. It doesn't fucking feel like it.
No.
And
But I don't think that's supposed to be the point of the movie. I don't think they plan on it being that slow.
I think the I think the point of it was meant to be a slow burn. I feel like at a certain point it had to be intentional.
Yeah.
Or if not intentional at the point of filming, intentional at the point of post-production.
Yeah.
Because people, maybe someone mentioned it. And he's like,
Like a
that's
half-hour
a great
movie.
idea.
Like, you should just make it longer.
they're like, oh, all you gotta do is you go, you shoot the guy. He fucking talks about McDonald's for like 15 minutes. He's like, this is a great place to pay £1 and get a.
That's how I
15
knew he
grams
was a
of protein.
psychopath when he got the Egg McMuffin, but then took off the muffin.
Egg McMuffins suck. Okay, McMuffin, trash. McGriddle, W.
Gotta get one of each.
No,
The McGriddle is too thick, and it makes you feel like you're having cardiac arrest. And then
so how does it feel better to get both?
and the Egg McMuffin, you get that secondary, and it's a better quality egg. You're eating a muffin rather than 2 fucking pancakes artificially injected with syrup into their fucking veins. And trust me, McGriddle is my favorite thing that they sell. But getting one, it's just eating them. I usually get like 2 sandwiches for breakfast from there because they're so small.
Yeah.
And like eating 2 McGriddles, you just hate your life.
Oh no, I couldn't even handle one McGriddle. Right now. I've gained so much weight in the last like 4 months just from like my change in job position and my lack of going to the gym. And I still have not stooped to a point of where I could eat McDonald's and be fine with it. I'm still like anti-McDonald's in my own life.
I eat McDonald's like twice a week.
Congrats. I hope it's good.
It's not.
Eat it one more time for both.
I still got coworkers that still work there after all these years.
That's weird.
And they're just like, hey, do you remember me? I'm like, yes.
I remember you. Give me my fucking McGriddle, please.
I remember you, but you're like a 40-year-old foreign dude, and I don't really understand you because it's been a long time, so I don't really remember how to understand your accent.
Podcast is hitting more people, so you got to like...
He's from like Haiti or something, so
You're
like
reeling
he
it
got
in.
like a really like thick like island accent, and like he was the nicest dude, but like I genuinely can't understand him, and he's joking with me in line, and I'm just like, okay, thanks for the burger, bye. And like every time I feel like a dickhead, but like I'm like I can't sit here in a drive-thru and be like, wait, what did you say? Because there's a line behind me.
Yeah, you're somebody that holds. You're not the killer in this movie. You have empathy towards the rest of the world.
Can't keep saying sentences like that because I keep wanting to say killer in the mirror and no one's gonna know what we're referencing.
Killer in the... Oh my god, my mic.
About it.
I picked it up a little bit and the so intense that the whole thing went up. So this I'm not disappointed, right?
Okay.
First of all, it's a streaming movie, so we didn't go out of our way to go to the movies and like. You know, when we go to the movies, it's not that it's a whole ordeal or like, oh, we have to get food.
But you like
it's
pay attention more.
We show up like 10 minutes early. We get our drinks. We get to meander.
Listen to Maria Menounos.
Exactly. We hang out. She tells us about her podcast. What's her name tells us about how good it is to be back at AMC after the pandemic.
I can't wait till they burn that fucking commercial.
Nicole Kidman. That's her name.
Yes.
That's like you go to the movies. It's a whole ordeal. You can't go on your phone. You're committed to watching the movie. Even if I'm like sleepy, I have to be like, come on, fucker, wake up.
Yeah.
Something like this. I don't feel bad because like I'm at home. I'm like looking at my phone a little bit. I'm like, oh, that's cool. Timmy fucking knocked right out.
Yeah.
As she does. She's knocked out right now.
Yep.
I don't feel bad. I'm not disappointed.
Yeah.
I think it was fine. I'd say like it's like a B-. I'd like for there to be a sequel and for them to pick it up just a fucking.
Okay. This wasn't really on the list of things to talk about today, but I'm going to mention it because I did finish this and you kind of know what I'm talking about. Pain Pushers.
Oh, Pain
Hustlers? Pain Hustlers.
Another movie on our list that we were supposed to watch this year, but got lost in the cracks.
I finished.
How was it?
There. The first half of the movie is really good and you think it's going to be this whole unique thing, but then it kind of has that same Wolf of Wall Street vibe at the end where like everyone goes to jail because they were corrupt, but in the end, like their lives aren't really ruined or anything. It just kind of all turns out kind of okay.
Mhm.
But like, it's just, I didn't realize what it was about. The drug they were using was fentanyl the whole time.
Oh.
So a bunch of people were getting addicted and then they were
And then they're dying.
prescribing it for like headaches and shit. And yeah, then people started dying.
That's not good.
But Chris Evans is in it. He's great. Emily Blunt's in it. She's great.
We started it. I never got to finish
want to
it.
just finish making amends to a comment I made about Oppenheimer with her de-aging, where I thought that they were messing with her. She just got plastic surgery. That wasn't Oppenheimer's fault.
That's fucked up, I think. I'm not positive if it's fucked up or not.
She got cheekbones done, but they didn't come out here. They went out wider. So now she's just like this. And it looks like someone just took the cheekbone slider in a character creator and just went, fuck it, max. So it's a bit distracting. It's not terrible, but like it's noticeable.
This is why 3000 Coke is ass.
Yeah. Why it's not regular Coke.
No, co-creations have been really good all year. I think this is the point in the podcast where I want to devolve a little bit and just talk about random shit. Because like I'm kind of having a good vibe right now. And it's usually, not that nobody listens to us past this point, but the viewership is like 1/10.
Because of that, I'm going to take...
You're gonna try it?
Yeah.
So this is, I'm going to call this part of the podcast the fans only part. No, I would want to put like a really shitty logo. It'd be like, where I just want to like talk and devolve a little bit. Like we've covered our topics for the day, but there's like some random shit I want to talk
make
about.
Shorts about or anything, but
No, just for
still
some fun.
here. Welcome.
Thank you. We've been doing this now for you and I think every time that the podcast like quote soft reboots, I consider it like a new fresh start.
Did
You
this,
and
like, 3 months ago.
No, it's been like 6. Yeah, what was it? June?
August, I thought.
July?
Around there. No,
I think it
because
was June.
we did it here. We talked about it while we were here. So it has to actually be recent.
No.
Yeah.
It was
We did a breakdown at this place.
oh No. Not a fucking chance. Let me look at the content list. I go all the way back. What's the first one we did together? Was The Flash?
Yeah.
Mermaid. Did we do Transformers? No, this is all being left right in.
Is it?
Oh yeah, all the ending? Yeah, 100%.
Okay. I don't know.
No Hard Feelings.
Did that?
The Present Future, that's not it. The tier list, no, that's not it. The Flash. June 19th. July, August, September, October, November. 5 months, going on 6.
Yeah, but we talked about it after that. We did a whole episode breakdown where we were here and we genuinely did an episode about this.
About the bowl?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I know that. That wasn't here. That was
Oh.
episode 59. That was in June. That's the first main episode we did after the fact, after Matt left. So regardless, it's a
What
soft
the
reboot.
fuck?
I know.
Okay.
Time passes fucking fast.
Yeah.
So anyway, I had a whole thing connecting as to why, but I don't remember why anymore.
You're
So
welcome.
one of the things we do on the Anything Bowl right now is we drink a little bit. Today is a heavier drinking episode. And so today we're
Little
going to
bit.
try
We did have a-
Bacardi Gold
Yeah.
year.
It's balancing out. We had a whole Thanksgiving dinner before this, so
Cool.
yeah. That's I don't feel a buzz at all.
No. You got to put the Christmas hat in the thumbnail.
Okay, make a dumb face. Put the drink up to your face first or something like that. Take a sip. I don't know. Be natural. Perfect.
Okay.
Bad.
Perfectly fine.
Like rubbing alcohol. The spices and everything in there.
Ooh.
It tastes like rubbing alcohol. It's
God, I'm
got a
such an old fucking man.
little bit of vanilla in there.
Acid.
Not enough. Yeah.
Acid.
That's how you know it's bad. Take a little Dr. Pepper. Throw that in there. Top that off.
What a time to be alive. So, what do we have going on for the rest of the year? Let's like
In a f-
what?
You're going to have to edit it out. So do you really want me to say it?
Nope. 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 Oh,
Feverishly beat our dicks.
did you say we're gonna what? Fiercely beat our
Feverishly.
fearlessly. I'm
No, feverishly.
fearless.
Just beating for the rest of the year. I'm not doing anything else.
I'm gonna sit here at my table. I'm not gonna go to work. I'm not gonna go to the bathroom. I'm just gonna sit here and
Feverishly beat my fucking dick.
fiercely beat the fuck out of my meat so goddamn hard.
Does that mean you ever beat the fuck out of your dick so hard that your leg go numb?
Yes, it's EDP. You know, he got stuck. He got caught trying to meet up with underage girls,
That makes
and
sense.
then he got canceled. Did it again. Can't stop addicted to
that's-
the shindig.
That's one of those things where, if you get caught doing
That's it.
that,
That's
there's
it.
no coming back. So the fact that you're like, they ain't gonna get me again, man.
What are the chances of them getting me again? You know, honestly, I think I'd be batting. Oh,
Like, no one's been on Catch a Predator twice, okay?
I'm pretty sure someone has.
Fucking, I never watched that.
It's a great show, 100%. In the beginning of the year or last year, I was addicted to that. And Whose Line?
It is bad whiskey. I mean, rum. I really don't like it.
You know why? You know it's a really good rum that I've turned you on to? The Kirkland rum.
No.
Yes, it is.
It's not
That
Kirkland.
Kirkland spice rum is fucking
It's
delicious.
just Captain Morgan.
Nope, Kirkland.
Captain Morgan.
Or all hail Kirkland.
With a
signature.
Kirkland sticker on it. It's Captain Morgan.
Listen, man. Working for Costco is incredibly stressful sometimes, but as a Costco member, it always gets better. I just bought the
What
Costco
the fuck's
Monopoly.
with the animatronic
I-
movement? Ding, ding.
It just moved,
Ding, ding,
get
ding,
the
ding.
do, get you to do the, oh. No. So we played a Costco Monopoly a couple weeks ago. It was it's like $40 or $50. For Black Friday, they put it on sale for $20.
Yeah.
It's sitting in my closet. I haven't opened it yet, but it's there now, so we can play it again. What do we have going on for the rest of the year? Let's see.
Yeah.
So, do you want me to ruin the rest of your day? There are 3 episodes before our Movies of the Year episode.
We're gonna have to really hunker down and do Christmas stuff, which we haven't even planned out yet.
Nope, not at all. We can talk about Christmas movies. Well,
You gotta at least
we
have
have
one
to-
on a
yeah,
week, but it
exactly.
can't be the main thing.
we have to
as well.
dedicate time to the Christmas movies, but there's also things like Wonka and other shit coming out that we have to watch. And
Yeah.
Aquaman. I don't want to fucking watch that, but we're going to have to. We're going to have to cover it. Because
Yeah.
everybody loves when we talk about the MCU, and when we talk shit about the DCU, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
James
We'll
Gunn,
split it up. We
what are you
made the
doing?
mistake of making everything for Halloween about the Halloween movies.
Yes.
And that was just a shit show.
Nobody liked it.
You guys hated it.
You guys hated it. So not even that you guys hated it. It's just nobody wanted to watch it.
Yeah.
Because everybody, I think, was doing the same thing.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying we have to like stay.
You got to pick
with
Christmas
what's
things, but
trending
you
a little
can't
bit.
pick the top thing. You got to
Exactly.
be like, well, this is
We can't
good.
just be like, we're dedicating the next 3 weeks to breaking down Elf and how Will Ferrell is a fucking genius.
Well, I mean, I got to watch Grinch at least once.
We already watched Elf.
Damn.
So good.
You know what? You're the fucking problem.
I am.
It was It was Black Friday. So yesterday.
Yes.
And I opened up HBO Max. It's like top movie today, Elf. And I'm like, it was yesterday. Thanksgiving was yesterday.
Y'all gotta calm the fuck down. Dude, how much Black Friday shopping did you do?
0.
Really?
0.
You know how much money I spent on Amazon alone on Black Friday?
No.
$600.
Shit.
No, $550.
Because the problem is I didn't know what to get anyone yet.
Amazon, Brendan. Here's what I do. Here's my like go-to tip for Amazon for shopping on Black Friday. Anything you need, right? It's part of it is things we need. Like I bought like smart light bulbs because some of them are burning out that we have. Gifts for people, and then it's like little things. Like I bought a little continuity camera stand to put on my computer, so that way if I want to stream and use my phone, it's just like clip on there. I don't need to bring one of these.
Yeah.
I put all that stuff in my cart, and I see it, and it's like sale, 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 and it'll tell you like, oh, special sale, 40% off. Then when Black Friday comes and all the Black Friday sales, sure, sometimes some of them it's the same. Some of them, like I had to buy an Apple Watch for my sister-in-law's boyfriend.
Why?
Because I told him I would. Because that's a total other conversation for another day. He's someone that has like just a shitty upbringing. It's a whole thing. He watches the podcast. He's a great kid.
Okay.
I wanted to get the both of them something because they always talk about like, oh, you know, I've never had this, but I've always seen people with them and I wanted one. I got her watch. I was going to get his once it went on sale because I wanted to do something nice.
Yeah.
I put the watch in my cart. It was like $229. I was like,
I feel like there's like tiers to
Black
like
Friday, $209. I was like, perfect.
I feel like there's tiers to like how close.
100%.
Like,
And there's no way that I would do this every year.
Yeah.
But I was thinking about it last year and the year before, thinking about it now, so I pulled the trigger.
Okay.
I'm so crazy when it comes to Christmas, bro. I bought the Apple Watch because it went on sale at Costco for her sister like a month ago. And it's just sitting in the closet. Her sister came over like last week or the week before. We we got on the topic of Apple Watches, and Timmy cracked one a couple weeks ago. So I went and showed it to her. And I joked with Timmy when she got there. I was like, oh, you know, I think I'm going to give it to her. She's like, no, wait for Christmas. It's a whole thing. Come on. You spent so much money. She was looking at the cracked one. She like put it on. She was like, you know, I really want one of these one day. These are really fucking cool. I looked at Timmy and she was like, just do it. Just do it.
No, that's what makes it special. If you wait, you
Nope.
can't cave.
Gave it right to her. Caved right there. Caved right there.
Weak. You're weak.
Yeah. So anyway,
Just like those shoes.
Black,
You're weak.
Black Friday shopping. I bought most of my Christmas gifts already for people. I don't have to buy you shit because we're going to this fucking Devils game.
Right? They're gonna lose. It's been a rough season.
So anyway, for the rest of the year, what do we have? Christmas movies?
Yeah, Christmas.
Couple
movie.
random things coming out. Like,
We're watching Marvel films.
I
want to
watch Napoleon.
Yeah.
Wish.
Wonka.
Aquaman. Ferrari comes out on Christmas.
Not going on Christmas.
Neither am I. Then we have our movies of the year, which is going to be fun. I think we'll do that with Timmy because she goes with us to all these movies, and it's nice when we have her on once in a while. And then it's in January, right? We're going to take a break from Christmas until the middle of January, and the first video we're going to post in 2024 is the MCU tier list. And we're not going to rewatch all of it. We're going to rewatch phases 4 and 5, but we're going to sit here. I think my idea for it is I want us to turn, and I want you and I to sit next to each other and face the camera this way. And just like...
And read a book.
Chapter 1.
It was the night before Christmas, and all through the house, Miguel, a creature was starting. Not even a mouse passes it back.
One of us has to be a character, so you have to go, it was the night before Christmas, and all through the house, you pass to me, and I go, not a...
You know how fucking fast I would click off of this video? Like, this motherfucker can't read.
So I want it to be like that, and I'm going to try to edit the shit out of it.
Yeah.
So that way it looks like a genuine tier list that you would
Means
want
we're
to
gonna
watch
have to
somewhere
record
else.
that the week before. That way, when you have a bunch of time off, you could just do it.
Yes, 100%.
Which is
and we're gonna sit here.
Defeats
I
the
am
purpose
totally,
of what you wanted to do. For
yes,
those 2
I'm
weeks.
totally fucking ready to sit here and have this be like a 3-hour ordeal, and then I'll make like a super cut of it, and that's fine. But I'm totally fucking ready.
Yeah.
To just like rank it and then do it maybe once a year, once every 2 years, and just be done with it.
I mean, we'll see, because like we have no idea what their future holds now. Like we could be
entirely
seeing the ending.
Yeah.
It
It entirely depends. But we're also waiting until like New Year to record it because like What If comes out. Did you see there was a leak for there's all this talk about Marvel like killing things left and right,
Yeah.
but fucking Agatha is still coming out.
Yeah.
And we had our first like set leaks of Agatha, Darkhold Diaries, whatever they called it. And I'm looking at the comments, and every like, the title is like, "Do you guys need this?" And every comment is like, "Does nobody fucking listen? Why are they canceling things? Like they canceled Ironheart. I'd want to watch that like a little bit more than a show based on Agatha. It's gonna bomb like shit. If they couldn't make Secret Invasion good,
Am I the only asshole who wants to see this show?
I don't fucking care.
I'm the only one who's excited for it.
It's also been like at that point, by the time it comes
With a
out,
stack cast.
by the time it comes out, it's been 4 or 5 years since WandaVision. Her
Yeah.
character, it is fucking pointless.
Yeah.
Okay? At this point, she's a villain that showed up and died, and that's it.
Yeah.
You know what I want to see more than Agatha? Wanda. Even though she's dead, I want to see her or her redemption or whatever the fuck it is. I don't want to fucking see Agatha doing stuff.
I am excited for another leak that I just saw come out recently.
Is it that Anya Taylor-Joy is going to play the Silver Surfer?
Yes, but she's not. Everyone was
She's gonna play?
talking about how they were going to gender swap him. They're not. It's what are they called? The Sentinels that of like Galactus or whatever. The Silver Surfer
yes.
is one of them.
Yes.
There's essentially a female version of the Silver Surfer who has like fire hair, and people think she's going to play that one.
Fuck yeah. Anya Taylor-Joy in the MCU could be fucking great.
Yeah, she should have already been,
100%.
but they fucked it.
Yes, they did.
New Mutants. Bad movie.
That was the only movie we saw during COVID,
Yeah, at an outside theater.
which was weird. The
Because-
movie was bad.
Yeah, and we also like
That was when I was really skinny.
we
'cause I
also
just wasn't
decided to
eating.
like go with like 6 people in one car, and we're like, let's just sit in the trunk. And we're like, oh, this needs to connect to our radio. We can't do anything. They're like, here, you can rent this radio. It's about this big and sounds like someone shitting into a mic. And
Yeah,
we
I
were
don't remember that movie at all.
And we were just like, we can't hear anything.
I
We're
love
like-
when somebody shits in a mic for me.
And we're like, no, but we kind of like get it and everything. And they're like, and you got this stacked cast from Stranger Things, Game of Thrones, Anya Taylor-Joy, whatever she was in at that point.
Not a whole lot.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure this was filmed in like 2017 too.
yeah,
And then it was just like constantly delayed, and then COVID hit, and they were like, "Motherfuck, just put it out,
Yeah.
just please."
and it was good.
They fought a big bear.
Yeah, Native American like spirit.
Really?
I believe so.
just
Once
remember it
again,
was
we
a
did
bear.
not hear
Nope.
anything, so that was all visual that I got
It
that.
was a weird night all around.
Yeah, but
I love that somehow we talk about Marvel anyway.
'cause
Even when we
it's-
deliberately
'cause
try to
it's
avoid
such
it.
a big deal.
It's
that
such a big part of
there's-
our channel. Let's be honest.
It is.
We had this is our best month ever. And that is entirely because there was 2 weeks where we talked about the Marvels and Loki back to back nonstop. And every short we put up was like bang, 3K, 4K, 5K, 11K. The MCU is what is guiding our channel right
And
now.
it's dying.
Well, still, there's still so we talked about it last
You're
week.
right,
There's so
because this
much good
channel's
shit.
so much going to thrive on Sony fucking superhero
God,
films.
The Madam Web trailer looks like
Kind
garbage.
of cool. We didn't
like
talk about that.
It
Let's
looks
talk
like a
about
fucking
that.
fan film, is what it looks like.
It did.
It looks like it's the show.
Sydney Sweeney's outfit with the giant eye holes, they
Yeah.
decided not to put the eyepieces in. And I actually think
This is her power in the trailer.
I think it looks really cool, but I also wish they kind of committed and just gave it the
It
full
looks
eyes.
like cosplay.
Also, the
It's not even the suits,
no, the
right?
cosplay looks like the villain because it
Yeah.
looks like he took fucking like what's his face, Andrew Garfield's suit, put it on a guy who clearly doesn't fit in it, and then they're like, he's supposed to be intimidating and everything and jacked, but then he's like the rest of the trailer he's in a suit,
Yeah.
and I'm like, what's happening here? And then she like can see into the future of like people dying, so like is this like a Final Destination movie? Like what's going on? I don't know much about the characters. I'm excited, but like I'm not. And the creator of the villain in that movie went, I have no idea what they did to him.
I have no idea. My problem with this, I don't remember if we talked about it on the podcast or if we talked about it just like outside of things.
Yeah.
My problem with the trailer and the way that they're doing it is they're showing all their cards at once. And that is not how you build a universe. It's not how you build tension. It's not how you build momentum for a movie franchise or series you're trying to do.
Yeah.
You build up to it. Even if the first one you have to like try a little harder and make the origin story a little different, you have to build to it. You can't just go, oh my God, look, here's the villain in the trailer. Look, he looks like Spider-Man. Here are these 3 girls. Here's clips of them. They look like Spider-Man. Here is this woman. Her name is Madam Web. She's from the comics. She's related to Spider. You don't do that. Okay? Because then you come out here and with like fucky line delivery in some shots, some of them like the
I didn't
villain.
notice that. There's
I
this
did.
clip
Sydney
online of
Sweeney's
like
one
being
line.
like, when my mom was younger, she was in the thing. You knew immediately. Well, he was in the jungle with my
mom
mother
was
and they
younger,
were studying spiders.
before she died.
And like everyone was like, that was terrible. I'm like, it just kind of seems like Dakota Johnson. Like, is it a bad line delivery? Is that just how she's always acted?
I'm trying to find the name of the line. He was in the Amazon with my mom when she was researching spiders right before she died.
About
That's yes, because it's literal exposition dumping in the trailer.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
From all sides. We have to watch it anyway. Okay?
Yep.
So like a legal obligation. Sony's universe as a whole sucks.
But it's going to become part of the MCU.
Stop.
Which is something that is currently struggling, adding another pile of shit on top
It's
of a
just
pile
not a
of
good
shit.
idea.
I'm sorry, on top of a polished
You know what the
pile of
biggest
shit.
deal is?
Doesn't make it a better pile
Let's
of
talk
shit.
about the biggest deal right now. Is the fact that, first of all, we're like 4 years deep. There's no Avengers movie.
Nope.
And nobody knows who the Avengers are or what they're doing, right? So there's your first big red flag. Number two, the Kang Dynasty, from all the leaks, you and I are just going to put this together on our own. The Kang Dynasty is not the movie anymore. It is going to be maybe Secret Wars Part 1 and Secret Wars Part 2. It's going to be something else entirely.
Yeah.
Because they're moving away from Kang. Loki wrapped up Kang perfectly, and they had this lob
Except
right
for
here.
the 3 guys who were still alive
Except
in
for
that
the 3
whole
guys.
universe of people.
Yes.
Unless they're going to like somehow make a quick statement about that, which is going to be weird.
Yeah. There's Kang Dynasty. The Russo brothers are rumored to return to direct both movies, which is not the fucking solution. I think the solution here is for some, because we've talked about it before. We're going to talk about it again. It's don't reboot the MCU. Don't do all of it.
No.
Just steer into the skid.
When this dies, like you need to take a break. Do not
Oh,
start
100%.
again.
No. I'm saying like, not even like dire reboot or anything. I'm saying like, fine, fold in the Venom shit because the Sony universe sucks. Venom 1 was fine. Everything else, atrocious. Like Venom 2, it's borderline unwatchable. Fucking hated it.
Yeah. When I saw that Woody Harrelson was going to be in that, I'm like, this is going to be great. Awful.
Let there be carnage. Awful. Because it's the first one, you know, you can get by. He's like, oh, I'm fighting a Venom lookalike. It's a different color. There's a bunch of, whatever. Fine. I get it. Yeah, the second one, he's like, all right, well, he fought like 4 of them the first time around, so now he's going to fight one of them. And the one of them is like a psychopath, but Woody Harrelson's wearing this really horrible fucking wig. And the best part of that is Venom and is the dumb shit that he says.
Yeah. No. What? That's the red one. No.
Come out now. Tom Hardy's great, and they just started filming Venom 3, which I'm sure is going to be.
And Carnage and Venom are both supposed to be part of the Sinister Six, which doesn't add up to anything.
Oh my God, man! What is the Sinister Six going to be? It's going to be the 2 of them. It's going to be Vulture, Morbius. It's Morbid time. Adam Webb, Kraven the Hunter,
and then either Scorpion, who's Voss from Far Cry 3,
yes,
who was in prison, or
from the first Spider-Man movie, like 7 or 8 years ago,
or Mysterio, or another villain that's going to bring them all together again.
How is it this fucking complicated
a third time
for companies like Sony and Star Wars to fuck up this bad constantly? How is it possible that these 2 people in charge, like
because
Amy Pascal and Kathleen Kennedy, how the fuck?
Because you have those people up top, and we've been complaining about them for years, and instead of them being like, maybe these people are wrong, they go, you fucked this up, and they go,
fix it.
And they turn to Kathleen Kennedy, and they went, you fucked this up, and she goes, yeah, you're fired. And then like that's what they do, and it's just like, no, you replace the top. Why are you fucking with the tiny people who are doing what you told them to?
It's not necessarily, right?
Just still there, like
she is.
That's the problem.
She's part of the problem.
She is the problem.
Are you saying that just because of the South Park episode?
Even if it's so apparent that Trey Parker and Matthew Stone notice it as adults, like who really probably don't give a fuck about Star Wars or Marvel at all at this point, if they're aware of it, it's an issue. Like they go for the most current events, the most obvious things that you could possibly do. So if it's so obvious that even they decided to make an episode on
clearly
it,
it's a
problem. Yeah.
So before this devolves anymore, I think we're gonna call it here.
Okay.
Because I'm trying to get home and play some Xbox. I'm not gonna lie to you. Overwatch is calling my name, and I got one more day off from work. Brendan,
yeah.
Tell the people what we talked about last week.
Why do you always throw this at me? I never remember. We talked about the Hunger Games.
Which one?
The last one, and the rest of them. What?
Tell me the long title. What was it called?
To Kill a Snake with a Songbird. And Mockingjay watches from the corner.
People are very angry at us about our opinions on that too. Every single person
liking it.
No, because like the shorts we post are us being like, man, I don't fucking understand why there's so much singing. It's not that exactly, but it's us being like, why is there so much singing? And then every person comments, they're like, oh yeah, who would have thought the ballad of songbirds and snakes would have been about singing
in a franchise where there's no other singing really?
Are you
Are you coming? Yeah, last week's episode was a bit of a train wreck, only because we messed up when it came to the recording.
Yeah, so
And
we
then,
had to use only the beginning part.
Again, because I was in Black Friday.
Yeah.
And Thanksgiving, and it's the worst week to work in retail. I had no time to edit it, as well as like episode 79 and 80 have been stellar because I'm putting clips in it and shit now, and I'm putting in a lot more effort. This one, none of that.
Yeah.
It's just like thumbnail, old style, put it up, I'm done with it because I didn't have fucking time. It was either that or it didn't go up. And then it still fucking went up late.
And I noticed that the Hunger Games logo flickers for the first couple of seconds.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't understand how that fucking happened either.
I don't know.
It's fine. Every now and then we have a bad episode.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
But having said that, this has been the Anything Bowl. We'll see you next week.
Have a good night.